You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it a back day. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Google signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Janeludis, and guys, we have an incredible special guest today on the show. He is creating an impact out in Chicago right now, and he is helping so many people hone their crafts, hone their schools at Larry's Barber College. Guys, the Director of Education, Faheem Muhammad. And guys, what sparked us to bring Faheem in as a guest is not just the impact he has with the college, but how much it has grown exponentially, but more so the impact he has on the people that walk through those doors. Because he strives for students to continue learning on all their fronts so they become successful, hone their skills. And I believe that with all of us listening right now with this interview and certain questions we're going to go over, no matter what your skill or your craft is, observing this or listening to this right now, you can take what Faheem is going to impact us with and run with it. So, Faheem, I thank you so much for being a guest on Once a Week. Thank you for being here, and welcome.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Thank you for your warm introduction. I'm a master educator at Larry Barber College here in Chicago, headquarter base on 10456 South Halsted Avenue. So I've been a barber first for a professional barber license here in Illinois since 2004.
Okay.
And I got my teacher's license in 2007. However, I bootlegged without a professional license for almost probably a little bit over 17 years before I actually got it right.
There you go.
So for those that's out there that's unlicensed stylists, come and try to enroll even at our college or Mario Jacosi, Paul Mitchell, any college of your choice. But I prefer you to come to us because we're going to give you some things that I can't necessarily, I'm not putting those other colleges down, but with my team that we have at Larry Barber College and what we're giving to students, we're giving you structure and the foundation of preparing you not just to be a barber, but to be a better human being, to be a better practitioner, and to be a community changer to affect communities by the things that we're going to teach you and educate you. We're really going to give you the capacity really to absorb the knowledge so you can see your own value, skills, and talents is way more than clippers trimming and a razor. So we want to take you beyond that because there's a lot of talented people throughout Chicago land there around the world that can move clippers. They consider themselves to be barbers, but they're not professional. And the word professional in front of barbers take you to another level. You know, a lot of people is good in technical, mechanical skills and working with clippers and the trimmers and razors and never been in a barber school in their life. And I give them that. But one of the main ingredients they missing out on is the professionalism they can be taught, the science of sanitation, how to minimize, you know, an environment that may be COVID and toxic or whatever pestilence or virals that's out there. You come and get trained how to properly sanitize your tools and implements and your body, and the most important thing, how to sanitize your mind, your thinking. That's the key thing. So what we do, we help to try to sanitize your mind. Also, by me being a financial advisor as a broker with Prime America, Aflac, Transamerica, and different companies like that I associate with, I bring a team of financial experts in that teach the students things about credit building, how to establish themselves, how to structure their business from not just being just a regular sole proprietor barber, but how to structure yourself as an LLC, for you can have a person pay you and pay your company and corporation instead of paying you as an individual to put you in the total tax bracket that would change the industry in a way that you don't just, when you go into a particular place, renting booth space or commission payout, you want to set yourself up, you'll be structured going into these places. But the first thing when we get into structuring you as a business, we like to structure you as a person. for we can make sure that Larry's motto is to make a new generation of barbers. In order for we to have a new generation of barbers, we have a new generation of teachers. They're going to teach a new generation of barbers. So I'm glad to be a part of the process with him for the last 14 years since 2009 and helping him in his undertaking in establishing barber colleges and schools that have benefited thousands of people who have came to our college. We have licensed thousands of people so far who have small businesses all throughout Chicagoland area, and some people that move to other states and open up their business, and some of our students even open up schools.
Nice.
I just recently, yesterday, in the last 24 hours, at the Cook County Jail, 26 in California, yesterday with Larry. And we was preparing those students in there, excellent students, for their state board exam. The pleasure that I get working with Larry Robinson Jr. is that he's a proctor of the state of Illinois to be able to give the state exam to the inmates inside the juvenile detention center, the prisons, institutions where he has schools set up at, and this give them a new fresh start from the mistakes they made. I never, when I'm inside of the prison facility, to make them feel I don't never invalidate them and make them feel where they at, that they ain't nothing because they made a mistake in their life that got them where they at. Some people are innocent that's in there, and some people is there because they made a mistake. So now they're trying to rehabilitate themselves through a trade and a skill that I've been around for thousands of years. Actually, in the history of barbering, we was the first doctors. We practiced dentistry for thousands of years. The meaning of the barber pole, red, white, and blue stripes, in itself, the origin of barber pole come from a process called bloodletting. And they was the first surgeons because they was able to work with sharp instruments because the clergymen and those of the Catholic Church felt that it was a conflict for them to deal with blood and believe in God. So they designated that duty and responsibility to those who work with sharp instruments, and those are the barbers. But they became barber surgeons. So this is a profession. It's an old profession. It's a profession where you, if you desire to, you can become very wealthy and very successful and live a comfortable life like everybody else.
For sure.
So, and the barber himself, he or she is pretty much like a therapist. We're unbridged psychologists because we listen to everything that people tell us that sit in our chair. Not only do we make you feel good from the outside, we make you feel good in the inside too.
Right, I get that. That's funny. And that's good too, because when you were going over all that, you mentioned how much structure you bring to people, and whether it's it is a therapy session when someone sits down in the chair, whether it's you helping someone financially, whatever it looks like, you are helping them in so many keys of life. And like you said with the penitentiary aspect, one of the questions I was going to ask you is, so many people walk through the doors of Larry's Barber College, as you've explained to me, and you have such an impact on them. And then now that you guys go to the penitentiary and you help people kind of create a new structure so they get back to life. And so it's not they're just thrown out into the world and they have to find their way. You guys provide that structure, which is phenomenal, but also you guys provide the mental support just as much, where, if it's a skill, a craft like a barber, or someone has their own salon for that matter, that's such a key that so many people I think overlook, where you're doing something with your hands that you can create a life off of. And so with people walking through your doors, with you bringing that structure to them, what's like a success story you've found, or what's something that you've impacted people, whether it's work ethic, whether it's effort level? What do you see students take the most away from you guys from? Is it the crafts, or is it something more mentally where it's like they have that confidence that they can then move forward from when they leave the school?
Well, you kind of covered the question, the answers in the question.
Okay. Yep.
Because you gave it already. So they come to us, and when they leave us and depart us, some of them is already skilled and talented with the craft. So we give them a whole different mindset. And we take them to another elevated stage in their development and their thinking, so they can actually use their tools and their craft in a positive way to influence their community. So they can be in the communities and not be toxic. Because a lot of shops are very toxic, being unprofessional. They characterize as places where money laundering is going on. crime and all different sorts of things. We are labeling and casting a bad light. All shops is not like that, but we have enough of them that make it seem there's a majority that participate in unprofessional behavior. So one thing we do when they leave us, not only do we set them up as a structure, but we get them a whole different mindset what Larry's idea and vision is and how to structure themselves. Then we have barber salons set up inside of Walmart, which is called Larry Maximum. Okay. So we filter them through that particular, if they decide to want to go into, when we say structure, those were the first thing, the hardest challenge is for a student to get out of any student to retain clientele. So we set them in a position where they can go into a franchise salon where we already have clientele walking all throughout Walmart. Walmart got over 5,000 people a day filtering in between 3,000, 5,000 people a day, and they got a serious pool to work from that. So they have an opportunity to go in there and thrive. Some students, since we've been with Walmart in the last year now, and we didn't already successfully, we on 83rd and Stewart, and we also on 108th, I believe, of Jody Road here in Chicago. Pretty much, if you went down to 111, those of you that live in Chicago, and went straight down to the end as far as you can go, we at the Walmart on 111. So we right there inside of that Walmart. And we got students that do very well for themselves. Some of them are adjusting to the system, transferring from school to a business environment where they're working off commission pay. It's a well-structured environment. Adam Farmer is one of our people over there that's helping to develop young men and women that we train to get them an opportunity to understand the importance of how to structure themselves through appointments, booking, and how to structure their finance. Setting them up where they can, even after a certain amount of time of employment, they can get health care, set themselves up for retirement funds and things like that. Right. So we got a structure and set up for them. So if you don't want to go into the world and rent out a booth space and try to build your own clientele, because that's a difficult thing for some barbers to do, is to build a clientele if they don't have one already. So Larry Maximum is set up in a way where they can go right. All they got to do is follow the structure that's set up there, and they're guaranteed to be successful.
And get in front of the people right away.
Guaranteed right away. So we're just trying to send the proper, competent students there, male and female, that can fit in to that particular environment and thrive over there.
Yeah, that's awesome. See that right there? That's opportunity. You mentioned the word opportunity a few times in that recap right there. And that's what you bring to people. You're bringing the structure, as we discussed. To kind of expand on that for viewers right now and listeners right now, if someone's listening right now and they're deciding, they're kind of at that crossroads, whether, as you mentioned with the penitentiary aspect, people are at a crossroads where they're trying to make better decisions. And one thing that you guys definitely do with your students and everyone that comes through those doors is you help them with the life skills necessary to make sure they have a life when they leave those doors. So expanding that opportunity right now, for anyone listening, not necessarily a barber or something like that, connecting it more to you, Faheem. Before we hopped on, you mentioned a key to you and you being in this place in your life. You're trying to create an impact, trying to impact lives because that was done for you. Now, faith is a key factor there, but how did you get to the place where you are creating this impact for others and you want to give back? Because I think a lot of viewers that come here, they know they have a purpose. They know they have a connection. They want to do something in their life, whether it's a barber, whether it's something else. But what could we kind of give to them right now that kind of helps them, like, hey, take the steps? Because listening to you, Faheem, you've taken those steps and you're giving into this entire college. But what were those steps that you took that someone listening could be like, you know what? I want to do this for myself too.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you asking me that. Well, to make it short, as I was just given a comical strip about me being a bootleg barber, I had no idea that I would be a licensed barber or a teacher at all, because I just used this as a tool to hustle. My father, Frank Anthony Nasbitt, who's Frank's senior, he was an all-around hustler. He sold, shoes, he cut hair, he sold merchandise. So he took me a lot in a local area called Jewtown with him here in the city of Chicago. But when he went around and cut other people's hair in the province area that we stayed in, I always watched and observed him. And I thought what he did, I believe I can do it. So I experimented with myself probably at the age of, I don't know if that 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
And he used to cut my hair, and I was waiting on him to come home to cut my hair. And I couldn't wait any longer, so I decided to pick up his clippers, and I cut a hole in my head. And I couldn't fix it. So my grandmother, my sweet grandmother who passed away, she told me, well, she was a beautician, and I wanted her to fix my hair. For my dad came and seen that I was messing with the stuff, and I cleaned the stuff out. She said, no, you're going to sit there, and you're going to wait till he comes, and he's going to see what you did to yourself, and I'm going to let him deal with you. So I'm sitting there waiting on him. He come in, and I'm waiting in the bathroom for him the whole time, me and the cat. And so when he looked over at my head, he said, oh, okay, what's going on here? He said, who told you to bother my things? Instead of him scolding me about it, his punishment was to me, finish what you started. So eventually, as I tell students, we're here now, so I had to cut all my hair off. And that was embarrassing for me because my hair is everything to me. And when I had to go to school like that, I was so angry at my father for punishing me like that. I decided to cut my hair from that day forward and just allow him to line me up.
Gotcha.
Ultimately, I ended up cutting all my cousins and friends' hair, and it was something I was good at doing, but it was pretty much a hobby.
Yeah.
And my mother started seeing a whole lot of children, kids in the neighborhood coming to the house, and she was fixing all of us sandwiches and things. She said, my son, you know, as you know, my birth name is Frank. He does a great job in here. Don't y'all think he does a great job? She said, so y'all would have to go to a barber shop and y'all use my electricity and he cut y'all hair. Y'all need to at least give my son $5. It's 11 of y'all back here on my porch. Y'all all need to reach in y'all pocket and give my baby something for cutting y'all hair because he did such a good job. Don't y'all think I got a great haircut? They're like, yeah, Miss Blue, we do. So they all gave me the $5. So we turned the corner, like, man, give my goddamn $5 back. I was like, no, man, my mom was right. Y'all should have been paying me all the time. So I realized that I can be compensated for something that I just was doing just on a hobby. And I was so good at what I was doing. I was cutting a lot of people's hair at the local high school. I went to Hopper High School. My teachers, football players, basketball team, and teachers that my teachers kept telling me, you know, you can do this as a profession.
Yeah.
You ever thought about doing this profession? I said, nah. I mean, because it was something I didn't value it because it was something I seen my father do. Okay. And I didn't think that a barber really make a lot of money. And first of all, I didn't see it as a career choice, but I wanted to go to the military. My mind was fixated on a whole different thing. Yeah. And so anyway, make a long story short, I worked in a lot of various shops along with me doing professional security. I've done executive protection. Yeah. Being in the Nation of Islam, we had the privilege of securing a lot of celebrities, rappers, artists that you know of that have been in the industry for a while and some that we still secure to this day. However, I don't do security anymore. But between security and cutting hair was the thing that I did. So I was working at a barber shop, and I worked at plenty of shops. And this one particular shop was Original Man Barber Shop that was located at 1975 East 73rd Street under the instructions of Faheem Muhammad, who was the owner of the shop. Him and Earl both went to school to finish their license, and they also decided to go to school to become a teacher. And he put a lot of pressure on me in that shop to get my license. Okay, gotcha. It took him about 1.5 years to convince me to go to get my license to the point he had to embarrass me. And as I started school at Kane's Barber College, I was playing hooky from school one day and decided to go to the shop and cut hair. He came in the shop and gave me the worst embarrassment of my life. I'm sitting there with clients waiting in the shop to finish their hair, and he snatched all of my stuff, unhooked all my stuff, and told me that I had to leave his shop because he wanted licensed barbers in the shop, but he's not playing with me. He wanted everybody in the shop to be licensed. And he explained to me the importance of why I need to go get my license. To make a long story short, you know, with that, I didn't like the way he did that, but I was encouraged from that day forward to enter school, and that was the best decision I could have made. was
Nice.
going to school, because all I was doing at that point, Bill, was just moving the clippers.
Mm,
It was no professionalism or purpose behind what I was doing.
mm.
But until I got under the fine teachers at King's Barber College that gave me structure, I didn't submit right away. It took me 4 years to complete the program at King's.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I can tell barbers that have not been licensed yet, I was arrogant.
Mm.
I thought I knew the way. I didn't think nobody could teach me anything, because I had been doing this for so long by myself that I didn't think nobody could teach me. But until I submitted and humbled myself and went through the process, I finally got my license in 2004. And from there, I enrolled in the teachers program, and I ain't looked back since then.
I love
So in
that.
2007, I became a teacher. They gave me an opportunity at King's Barber College for almost 2 years to teach there until I transitioned to Larry Barber College. I've been in the game ever since.
Yeah, I love
Anybody that's out there that's not licensed, please get your license. Don't allow that to be a thing over your head, because the state is cracking down on unlicensed barbers, and you can go to jail for impersonating a barber.
that.
And you're endangering the public for public sanitation, because you don't have the knowledge of sanitation procedures, disease, communicable disease, and spreading those communicable disease to your clippers, and just not even sanitizing your hand, not properly following proper sanitation procedures, safety measures, where your blades is chipped and you got unprofessional tools and implements you're working with. We're going to give you this knowledge if you allow us to give it to you. Then we're going to give you a foundation how to keep customer retention. When your customer, you got a nice haircut yourself, Bill, nice line up and everything. When you go to the shop, we teach you how to give your clients an experience. It ain't just a situation where you're looking for them just to, with all due respect, 1,000 parts for using profanity, but you don't want it to be fuck you, pay me type situation.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Where you give me some money, I cut your hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's no conversation. It's no greeting at the door. It's no welcoming party at the door. You just cutting their hair and you just get them out the chair.
Yeah, I gotcha.
No customer retention. You ain't got the skills to retain the clientele. You don't know how to talk, communicate with the clientele. You don't have proper ethics or when phone etiquettes. When somebody called the phone, yo, what's up? Hey, what's happening? You ain't naming the business. There's no professional, no tact, none of that. You just know how to cut hair. Anybody can go to Walmart or Walgreens and buy them a pair of clippers at CVS and just set up a milk crate in your garage or inside the bathroom and cut your hair. But it's not like having an experience when you're in the shop and getting that hot towel, hot lather with the razor and the good conversation in a safe environment.
Yep, I gotcha.
And the ambiance of the environment, smell good, it's clean, it's safe, and feel good. This is the only place in America where the men's lounge, we can go into that lounge and communicate with each other on the level as men about relationship, parenting, finance.
Right.
You're going to learn everything you come in the barbershop. You can learn how to gain your wife and lose your wife in the shop.
Hilarious.
You can learn how to get a house and lose your house in the shop.
That's funny. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things that you can, get out of this experience and this career.
Yeah.
And Larry desired to have that. And when I sat down with him in 2009 and seen his vision, he sold me on that. I believed in his vision to create a new generation of barbers and some of the things that he want to have. Like what we have, Bill, here at our headquarters location, we have dorms set up for our students.
That's awesome. Wow.
There ain't too many barber colleges in Chicago, Atlanta area got dorms set up. So we have dorms set up. We have job placement situations set up.
Wow.
We have other related associates to help them with, they come to us with criminal backgrounds. We have nonprofit organizations that help them, mentor them through whatever issues they may have.
Awesome. Yeah.
I've implemented, as Miles probably told you, the way of happiness.
Okay.
This is the process I'm implementing among my educators and students to give them, as far as life skills concerned. And I heard that you're a life coach.
That's awesome. Yeah.
We have a whole lot of life coaches that came through Larry. And right now, the teacher, the educator is the life coach. He's everything all in one.
Yeah.
So a part of my life coaching part, we try to teach them skills that's inside of this. That's the author of this book is L. Ron Hubbard.
Mhm.
Of course, Scientology, Dianetics, Nation of Islam got a bad rap among the media and people. Everybody got their own opinions. But this is one of the best mental hygienes that you can find.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, L.
Yeah.
Ron Hubbard was a genius. He was a brilliant man.
Mhm.
And he left behind him a hell of a universal principles that we all could benefit from in humanity.
Mm.
So as a Muslim and as a follower of the most honorable Muhammad leadership of Minister Louis Farrakhan, some would say, why do you need that?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you taking on something that came from a Caucasian, from a white man?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't got enough knowledge, and with the teaching of Muhammad, we do.
Mm-hmm.
But we understand that knowledge, once a person like us who are a student on a journey, we don't return home. We're constantly on the journey and path of knowledge and intellect.
Yep.
Wherever I can find enlightenment to improve my life and better my life, and I want to help them better other people's life. And this is just one of the tools that we use.
Yep.
And one of the chapters that we on is to be competent.
Mm-hmm.
And in that chapter and being competent, it deals with L. Ron. You mind as I read a couple paragraphs of it?
Take it and run with it, yeah.
It said, in the age of intricate equipment and high-speed machines and vehicles, one survivor that one family and friends depends in no small measure upon general competency of others. In the marketplace and science, humanity, in the government, incompetency. It can threaten the lives and the future of few and many. So what we try to do when the students come into Larry Barber, whatever background they have, religion, life skills, that diverse community they come from, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, we try to deal with them to make them a well competent professional barber stylist when they come up out of there. So we have to arm them with the proper knowledge and skills they need to navigate through a society where all crime, murder, mayhem is going on in a lot of different environments. So now when you're a barber, you're a leader in that environment.
For sure.
You can have more power than the alderman, the mayor, a preacher, a reverend, anybody, because you have authority in that environment because you're responsible for the ethical cleansing of the people that's there and cosmetic cleansing of perfecting people's hair, skin, and nails to make them feel good about themselves. And because they trust you, that allows you to have access to them in that way.
Right. You have connection.
You have a connection.
Right. You build the connection with all the efforts you guys put in, with competency, with skills, with success, with structure.
There you go.
People are able to look to you for one, rapport, connection, but then they realize how it's like you spread it. It's a domino effect. You start to spread it and then they take it to more people and they take it to more people. And that's incredible. I think I agree with you. Someone, whether it's a barber, someone else, anyone listening right now that doesn't believe that they have an impact in their own lives or the people around them, you could have more connection with so many people just on that sense than a mayor, as you described to us, as a leader that you see on TV or something like that. Someone like a barber could have way more connection with people because people can go to them without having the imagery of, oh my goodness, I have to be proper up here. No, you be yourself. And because the barber is himself and you're themselves, you can find the connection with each other so they keep coming back. And that's
there you go.
To people, right? And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I want to mention something that you touched on. And when you were going over your story, and I'll say this and I'll ask one more question and we'll close it out. But when you were going over your story and how you came to where you are now, you mentioned so many key points. And one of which that stuck out to me was, even when you were younger and you had this one experience where, you cut your own hair and it was an impactful experience because you had to wait for your dad to come home and everything. And, as you get later in life, you realize like, hey, because I had that one experience that I taught myself how to continue to do it, you kind of see how it all connects together. And then, as you mentioned, you were good at cutting people's hair and everything. You were starting to make money off it as a side hustle. However, your goal was, military or security, and then you pursued that. I always love hearing people's stories where they come back to the one thing that they had skill and brought them joy when they were younger. And that's something I teach with my coaching clients in my seminars, where when people are looking for what their purpose is in life, regardless of what culture you come from or what faith you're taking a step with, if you look at when you're younger and you realize what brought me the most joy and peace, and then you see how your life is intertwined together to where now you right now are doing exactly what brought you that joy. I wanted to make that an impact for listeners right now, because that to me always stands out, where you're doing what you were always meant to do. Because when you're impacting these kids, when you're impacting these students, when you're bringing structure, helping them mentally, teaching them the security aspects of being a barber and having your own business, you're impacting them in so many different areas of their life, meaning you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. And if people listening right now can take a step on what always brought them some aspect of joy, that is going to be another person doing what they've always been meant to do. Whether that is
right.
whether that's something else. And I want to make that such an emphasis point, because you said it and like that stuck out to me. So I appreciate you telling your story, and I appreciate you connecting that together with Larry's Barber College. And I want to ask you one more question before we kind of close it out. You brought up so many lasting messages. You brought up the competency. You brought up, that faith aspect right there. You brought up all the impacts you bring to people. Out of everything, all the success stories you've seen come through the college, your own personal, what's a lasting message that you want a listener or viewer to have, whether it's connected to just a personal impact from you, or it's connected to Larry's Barber College, or mixed together? Off the top of your head, what's something you're like, you know what, I want people to remember this, whether about yourself, Larry's Barber College? What would you say?
Anybody that got a dream or aspiration to do anything in life, close your eyes and then visualize yourself doing that exact thing that you want to do. And then commit it to paper. And if you're not good with writing, record yourself.
Nice.
And you have to have personal self-affirmations on things you want to will into existence. You first got to have it here in your mind. Then you got to have the desire to fulfill it. Desire feeds the will. If you have a desire to be successful, of course, if you want $1 million tomorrow, and of course you go run and pay the Powerball, you may end up winning it. But we want to be realistic and better attain things you can attain. I'm not saying don't be that. I ain't trying to make it silly like that. But whatever you have in your mind that you want to do, you can bring it into fruition stage by stage. And one thing we always tell our students all the time: trust the process.
100%.
But the process is real. The struggle is real. And whatever personal struggle that you may have with yourself, whatever childhood experience or barriers that you experienced as a child, as an adult, just know that if you woke up today, you are blessed.
100%.
God gave you another opportunity to make it right. Whatever that God means to you, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, Jehovah, whatever you desire to call your deity, that's up to you. But if it's not even spiritual, and say that you believe in science alone, then deal with the true reality of whatever force in nature that stands in place, and an external force comes against it, you're going to put it in motion. The first law in nature in itself is motion. You know what I'm saying? You got to be put in motion. The object at rest don't stay at rest like I have an outside force to put it in motion.
Right.
But you got to change your thinking, change your mindset. Don't believe what all the dream killers have told you about yourself.
Right.
For instance, a young man came into my shop and he got my haircut. Very mysterious young man. Studious, real quiet. And I asked him, his name was Lewis. I said, wow, Lewis, first time coming to my shop. How you doing? How you find out about my shop location? He said, my mother Googled and seen that you had a lot of reviews. I came to the shop. I said, so what you doing, Lewis? What grade you in? He said, well, I'll be fairly ready to go to high school. I said, what do you want to do in life? And the first thing he said, I want to be the president of America. And I stopped and paused for a minute. I was cutting his hair. I said, wow, that's interesting, Lewis. What gave you that idea? He said, well, Barack Obama was the first American black president, and I want to be America's second black president.
Okay.
So I didn't stick a proverbial needle in his head and told us no way in the world that they're going to take another black president and you can't be it. I say, Lewis, if you decide to do that, what are you planning to do to work on to get to that level of leadership to lead the country?
Nice.
He said, well, I ain't gave too much thought to that. See, this is the beauty of you as a barber or stylist you can do for people by just pricking their consciousness.
Exactly. Right? You're right
Yeah.
there. That's the connection we mentioned. It's like you're right there where you essentially, with what you just said, you could grow someone's dream, you could end someone's dream. And you even said that where you're going to learn everything you could at a barbershop, whether it's good, bad. You're going to understand what you need to make a decision on, you know?
That's right.
The example with Lewis right here, you know, you watered the dream. You know, you are the seed, and it's on him at that point if he wants to continue it. However, you play such a significant role in his life just by doing that. Even if he holds on to it or he lets it go, you were there for him. I think that's significant. That's major.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome. No, I love it. I appreciate that story and everything. And I appreciate the time you gave us because you know, I love the fact that Larry's Barber College is bringing so much to people out in Chicago and you're helping people really get their life back in some regards or get their life on the right track to have their own business. You're bringing, as you mentioned, the financial knowledge just as much as them, the structural knowledge. You know, you guys are impacting so many people. And then just to bring it to you directly, your story in itself has impacted so many people's lives, whether it's your faith or whether it's the steps you've taken to continue to learn, like the book you're reading and everything. You yourself have created such a light and an impact to so many people. And that's why I'm so glad to have you on once a week, because with our messages, we want to bring an impact to the community. You want to bring an impact to whoever is listening or viewing this on YouTube right now. And your story, Faheem, does exactly that because you've been through the ringer. You've been through the experiences life where you have to make a decision, whether it's military security and you can experience that, or, you know, let me take a chance on myself and do the barber aspect, you know, Larry's Barber College and your own experiences with that. And, you know, there are moments where you have to get forced to do it, as you described, where it's like, you know, people kind of put you into a corner. It's like, you give it a shot to go get your license and everything.
Right.
And that's why you stress it so much to people, because you've walked the steps. And I think that's something viewers can take away right now with whatever route you're going. Maybe it's barbershop, maybe it's something else. You're going to walk the steps so you can pave the way for the people behind you. And that's exactly what you've done, Faheem. So I appreciate you being here. And one last time question, where can people find information about Larry's Barber College, information on you? You mentioned Google just now with the Lewis example, but where can people find you guys?
Well, for one, with the college, you can go to Larry Barber College. You can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
Easy on Facebook. They can go to Larry Barber College on Facebook and find us there.
Nice.
They can, you know, also Larry have his own personal page. The college have their page. Okay. I'm looking at it now if I can give them the right information on that.
Yeah.
But we are located in Chicago at 10456 South Halsted Avenue. Mm-hmm. And you can come up there, call up there to enroll into the college. Our next class will be, we have a class every 2 months. So this is the new class.
Nice.
We'll have a new class starting up in November, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a new class probably November the 6th. Each location starts up different. So our Joliet location, and we have our 79th location, and then we have Rockford. All right. And we have juvenile and we have the Cook County Jail.
Nice.
So those are some of the locations we have. So what you want to do is probably get in contact with our headquarters location, 104th and Halsted, and talk to Bernice Noel, who's the financial aid representative.
There you go.
The number is 773-779-2100.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can ask for Miss Noel, or you can ask for Mr. Muhammad, myself, or Miss Cassandra, who's the our district manager.
Okay.
If no one is available, and then the financial aid can get you all started. Explain to you all that you need to start the program, and I'll be there for you, waiting for you to help you take that new chapter in your life.
Awesome.
And if you want to take it to another level and stop being a bootleg barber, or start a new career and don't know how to cut hair, know nothing about barbering, we accept all of those. All you got to have is a desire.
I love it.
You got a desire, we're going to work with you.
Exactly, right?
I'm going to build you from zero, from nothing to something.
There you go.
But you got to be teachable now.
Yep, exactly. Everything.
You got to be teachable. So my shop location, my shop is named Unique Man Real Stars Barber Salon. I'm located on 10646 South Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60628.
Okay.
My business hours, for me, I'm in the shop. My availability is Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Fridays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I work all day on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm at the Barber College. So if you're interested in booking an appointment with me, you can go to Booksy and look up Unique Man Real Stars Barber Salon, and you'll see my high ratings I have up there for professionalism. You can select any of my staff members that's very good and competent in the skills of barbering, from natural hair, to coloring, whatever designs, whatever you want to do, facials, we do those as well. So give us a call and book an appointment with us, and we'll be here to help direct you whatever needs that you may have.
There we go.
I have products that I sell, from Remy Man to Zap products. I got black soap, body oils, different herbal remedies, and a whole load of advice and knowledge for you. So come and visit
I was going to
me.
mention that, the knowledge aspect. People. I was just going to say that, viewers, listeners, right now, you have all the information you need. You just gave it to, and it's going to be in the credits of this video as well as the description of this video, which is perfect. But one thing, as much as they can grab, they can come talk to you, they can learn about the school, the knowledge that you have, you gave to us a tidbit of it today, which is, I guarantee you there's so much more. So if viewers are listening right now, if you're in the Chicago area, go check them out, because I guarantee you're going to walk out of there with either information on how to take the next step for yourself, or walk away with a piece of knowledge from Faheem, because he's got so much to give to people. But Faheem, I thank you so much for your time today. And, I appreciate all the impact you bring, whether what you guys bring with Larry's Barber College or your own shop for that matter, or just you and the impact you have on the people around you in your community, just being yourself. It's there. So viewers right now, take that and run with it. Whether you're pursuing something like a barber aspect, the options there. You just gave you all the information. Or if you're pursuing something else for yourself, take the keys that we discussed. Expand on that for yourself. As he mentioned, you have the desire and everything, but you got to take a step for yourself. Just as his story told us just now, he took a step for himself, and he had the push when he needed it at times. If you're someone that needs that push, reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to Faheem, reach out to whoever you need to make sure you're taking the steps necessary, so the dream, as Faheem mentioned, becomes the reality because you take steps to it. But again, Faheem, I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for giving all the information you did. And guys, if listen right now, if you haven't subscribed to Once a Week yet on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below, hit that thumbs up button, like this message so we can get it out to more and more people. And if this impacted you, or someone that's on the route that Faheem mentioned, whether it is Larry's Barber College or something else, share this message directly to them so they have the information right away. We want to help as many people as we can. We want to create an impact. And with this one video, you can be the person that impacts someone else's life. So guys, make sure you subscribe to us. And if you are in need of a life coach or a results coach and whatever need, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me, and I'm going to be right there for you. And guys, you can check out all of our other messages on here on YouTube. But again, bring it back to you, Faheem. Thank you so much for being a guest here on Once a Week. I appreciate it.
All right. Peace.
Here we go. Perfect.
I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it a back day. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport.